I'm not going to just inspire you. I'm going to teach you how to build retirement freedom step by step. I call it the Retirement Freedom Blueprint. In part one, I explained the lie you were told about retirement. I called out the fear-based narrative that continues to be sold by the retirement industrial complex, the myth that aging equals decline, and the story that says you can only be free if you have millions in the bank. We shattered all of that. And if you missed it, I highly encourage you to go back and watch it because the information can change your outlook on retirement and ultimately your life. But let's be honest, knowing the truth is one thing, but running with it, well, that's what we're here for today in part two, the Retirement Freedom Blueprint. It's the core of my Claim Your Dream Life framework. It's really very simple. Clarity plus focus plus action equals results. And I'm going to break it down to show you exactly how to apply it, whether you ever go deeper with me or not. So grab a notebook. We're doing this together. I, like many people, am a visual learner. How do you get across this big old river? Because here you are now. You've done everything you were told. You've worked. You've saved. You've sacrificed. But maybe you feel like you're still standing here looking across a wide river at something you can't quite reach. And where you really want to be, of course, is on the other side of that river, living your retirement dream life, right? That life you never need a vacation from, no alarm clock you hate, coffee you actually taste and enjoy, a loving community with neighbors you know, maybe work that you choose on your terms, and a life you never feel the need to escape from. What's the problem? Well, the problem is nobody ever taught you how to get across this wide, maybe wildly raging river, right? The old playbook said, save more, wait longer, maybe you'll make it. But there was no roadmap for how you'd actually design the life that you want. So we're going to build a bridge across this big river, and then you'll be able to get across to the other side. So we're going to think of them as stepping stones across the river. So we're going to draw 3 big boulders to plop down in this river so you can just kind of do a little hop, skip, and a jump over those stepping stones to the other side. Because you don't have to try to swim across it blindly and get carried away by the current. There's a bridge, and it's these 3 powerful stepping stones. And they are clarity, focus, and action. And when you have these 3 stepping stones in place, well, now you're across the river. When you don't, you're either going to be stuck on the left side of the bank for years, maybe decades, or if you try to start swimming across pretty strong current, maybe you drift downstream and you never know where you're going to wash up, right? So let's break this process down. Stepping stone 1, clarity. And most people never ask, what do I really want now? Not what you were told you should want at age 30, not what your parents wanted, not what your old boss wanted, not what your kids want. What do you want to be, do, or have now? Or before you leave this earth? That bucket list, right? The truth is, most people don't get what they want because they don't know what they want. In other words, you need to start with the end in mind. If you've ever read Stephen Covey's book, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, you know that's one of the seven habits, right? Begin with the end in mind. But I really can't emphasize enough the importance of this step. It's the first, but probably the most important one. And without clarity, it's really difficult to move forward. The analogy I used to use is if we would take the Santorini, our big sailboat, out onto the ocean, right? You set a course, you know the destination where you're going. Because if you just go out into the ocean and you just let the boat drift, current goes south, you could end up in Mexico, you could end up on the rocks, all sorts of possibilities, right? But if you wanted to get to Catalina, we used to go to sail to Catalina quite often. And so that's what you're doing with the clarity step is you're really determining what's the destination that you have in mind to get to where you want to go. Mick and Dawn Meese are a beautiful example of what clarity can do to move you forward. Now, they knew they wanted to retire early, and they had a 5-year plan to do just that when we met. Funny thing happened though, once they got clear about what it was that they wanted in their new lifestyle, things really started to fall into place for them quickly. Their 5-year plan, well, it shrunk to 2 years pretty quickly, and then 18 months. And ultimately, they were able to retire early in just 10 months after we started working together. And they continued to take the steps across the river, just like I'm explaining today, to get to their retirement dream life, which they're living today. So the key takeaway with this step is without clarity, you drift. With it, you drive with focused energy. Because the second stepping stone is just that, it's focus. Clarity is knowing what you want. Focus is knowing what fits and doesn't. And so it's putting your energy into what aligns with what you want and cutting out what doesn't belong. And this is where people stall because decluttering isn't just the stuff in your garage or your basement. It's the old patterns, habits, and beliefs, the old shoulds, outdated commitments and obligations, perhaps. So focus is your fuel and your filter because it fuels your dreams and it protects you from other people's opinions. Now, let's move on to the third stepping stone, action. This is where the rubber meets the road, right? Most people kind of, sort of, maybe know what they want, and they may even have an idea of what's standing in the way, but they still stay frozen because they think that their action has to be some huge big deal, but it really doesn't. The action means small aligned steps. One step creates momentum, really. The moment of decision is huge. So let's talk about bold, inspired action. It's my favorite kind. Are you familiar with Susan Boyle? You know who she is? I adore her story. Maybe you don't recognize her name, but you'll recognize the clip. I cry every time I see it. But she was 47 years old. She was unemployed and mocked. She had clarity. She wanted to sing. She had focus. So she ignored the laughter and the mocking. And her action? She showed up. One audition changed everything for her. Your bridge to retirement freedom is really no different. Small actions beat big plans on paper every single time. So let's put it all together, right? Clarity plus focus plus action equals results. This is the Claim Your Dream Life framework. It's how you create your retirement freedom blueprint. And it's not theory, it's your real practical bridge from you now to your retirement dream life. The old retirement playbook wants you to believe you can't do this alone. And maybe you can, but here's the truth. Even the best blueprint won't work if you're surrounded by the wrong people. If you share your dream with dream killers, you'll drift down the river and grasp for the shoreline, or maybe never leave that side of the river at all. Because I've got you. You're not crossing this river alone.